1. You guys ready? Got it open? Good evening, Los Angeles. And welcome to JoyScore. We want to talk a little bit more about JoyScore tonight. What is JoyScore? First of all, it's a show. It's a podcast. It's what we're doing now. But it's eventually a television show. And it's eventually a worldwide app that's going to make the world a better place. What I want to show you guys... Now, clearly this is an extraordinary opportunity for anybody. This is going to be an app, an interactive app, an app that has AI in it that's going to allow the viewer to be led by this app into extraordinary questions about you, about who you are, what motivates you, the things that make you happy, the things that make you great, the things that make humanity worth living. So what I have here is this JoyScore.co. Now, it's not a functional website right now, but what is functioning on it is this sign up. So if you go to JoyScore.co, do you guys see that? Is that too close? Pull it away. Pull it away like that. You guys see that? Like that? Like that? Is that good? So that's the JoyScore.co app. So if you go to it, you'll see, and you scroll, you know how to scroll, right? You'll see this little email thing right here. You just put your little email in there, and we'll be able to notify you and let you know when these shows are happening, let you know when the app is actually functioning, so you guys get a taste of this extraordinary little tool, a tool for the individual that's looking for perspective. It's an awesome tool. So go there and put your little email in there, and then push that little notify button, and bada bing, you're into the JoyScore situation. And you'll be able to keep up with all this awesome stuff that we got going on. We have a wonderful show for you this evening, Realizing Your Possibilities with Justin Rudd. Justin Rudd is one of the, if I'm looking at this piece of paper, and this guy is off the chain. Talk about public service. Talk about running events for his community here in Long Beach, and serving his community in ways that makes me actually feel really, really, really lazy. I want to pass this over to Suzanne Toro, the lovely Suzanne Toro over here. It's a beautiful shirt you have on.
Thank you.
Love that teal.
Well, thank you, Thomas.
Do you have anything to add to JoyScore and what it's about, and then Justin Rudd? And then we're going to run a little video on Justin.
Absolutely. It's great to have you guys all watching in right now. JoyScore, well, most people like to feel joy in their life. JoyScore is going to give you an opportunity to bring more joy into your mind, your body, and your soul, and you'll get a good baseline evaluation of where you're at. And this show is to help inspire you by the people we bring on to talk about the things that they do. And tonight we're going to talk about potential. Both these people are pretty incredible. Justin from...
But just stay with JoyScore for a second. So it's kind of a scientific...
It's quantitative, so you can you'll be asked questions, and you will measure it, and you'll get a score. And so then you can take it again as you increase joy in your life, and you should potentially get more. It's really
for everybody.
Higher score.
They don't have to be super happy to take the test. You can be extraordinarily happy. Well, what really the app is looking to do is collect information and learn about the level of joy within the community itself. So that will be the end product. But what an extraordinary little tool, right?
And give yourself an idea, like, wow, I have 50% joy, and maybe it's a good evaluation point of how you can shift your perspective. You can do some things. It's all self-initiated, and then that score goes up, and the ripple effect is fantastic. Yeah,
there's a whole army of people working on it. I think they got like 50 people working on this thing. So it's definitely in the works, and this is just the catalyst so that you guys can fall in love with the J, the JoyScore, that big J, that big logo that you saw during that little exciting little commercial there, little rock and roll commercial. But we want you to identify this as a tool. So when you see that J, you can go to this app and you can check in, and it'll have all sorts of extraordinary little pieces of advice, tools for you to get in contact with people, to achieve certain levels of happiness in your life. Yeah? So tell us about Justin Rudd.
Well, Justin Rudd's an incredible human being. He's, I think, once told me in an interview that I did with him on my radio program was that he doesn't see any other reason for us to be here but to be of service to one another. And he really walks the talk, as you can see from his community impact. And I think, the inspiration is that we all can take a little effort and achieve a lot of things, and that's what Justin does. He puts forth a lot of programs that have an impact immediately in a community, and they've been there a long time.
He's been here for a long time. I guess you started in North Hollywood as an actor and a singer and a maybe you can get him to sing something tonight.
Maybe
get him to sing something.
We'll see what comes out.
And then he wound up in Long Beach, and he's been here for how long?
For I think 20 years. We have him
22 years, something like that?
Yeah.
Amazing. And so once he comes in, Suzanne's going to read off some of these things that he's currently... The guy has 22 newsletters going at once, to give you some idea. I mean, he's got like 98,000 followers and subscribers and 27,000 fans, and he's amazing. You want to... So we've got this little clip of one of his little projects. Do you have any more information on that clip?
Yeah, well, this is one of the races. So one of the race. Well, this is at the 4th of July race, but the Turkey Trot is actually what funds all his programs. So Justin puts.
So what is a Turkey Trot?
The Turkey Trot is a 5K, 10K, and
bunch of turkeys trotting.
Yes, and it started years ago, and everyone comes out Thanksgiving morning before they're going to abide in a big feast, and has a race. And so the entry fee that you can collect, or he collects, all that money that he collects outside of the cost for the race goes to pay for these programs that we'll mention shortly.
So it's a running event that happens the day before Thanksgiving or on the day of Thanksgiving?
On the day of Thanksgiving.
On the day of Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving morning.
You run off that turkey. Yeah. I bet there's a whole boatload of people that run that race. I'll run that race.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun.
I won't race it, though. I'll just get through it.
Well, you can walk. Everyone goes at their own pace. And then the clip that we have are these kids that is so charming. They're sharing some of their own wisdom, and they're participating in the 4th of July run that he did this year. So I thought it was really nice to see how he engages with the youth, the teens, the community, and his commitment to inspiring people and motivating them not only to take care of their physical but mental and emotional well-being.
He came to see JoyScore. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
You want to run that tape, Juan? Run his little video. Let me know when it's going.
I want to thank the hospitals for saving people. So let's get this 4th of July started, shall we? Thank you.
Perfect. Because my mom is a nurse, I know we should provide all Americans affordable health care. Because I am a kid, I know we should provide all kids affordable LeBron James shoes and jerseys. Because I love my dog, I know we must protect any animals from becoming extinct. Because I am a daredevil, I know we must get rid of headlamps on roller coasters at Knott's Berry Farm. Because my dad is an attorney, I know our legal system must provide equal justice for all. Last but not least, do you believe my school does not allow kids to run on the playground? Kids must be allowed to run at recess. Come on, we are kids.
We're back. Hey, we have
Justin Rudd.
Justin Rudd with
woo,
us.
woo, in the house.
In the house.
Good to be here.
Read.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know if I can talk this fast, but he has 60 annual programs, contests, and events. He has started continuously that include Long Beach Giving Project, the monthly 30-minute beach cleanup, Long Beach Losers that lose weight, Operation Santa Ana Pause, the $1,000 National Kids Spelling Bee, the $1,000 National Adult Spelling Bee, the Great American 4th of July Kids Bike Parade, the Red High Heels Walk, the SoCal Halloween Kids Costume Contest, the Interfaith Blessings of Animals, the Belmont Shore Sidewalk Chalk Art Contest, the National Bulldog Beauty Day, the National Mutt Show, Pet Adoption, the Father-Daughter Dance, the Operation Easter Basket, Long Beach Mom Prom, Hot Dog Halloween Parade, Long Beach Turkey Trot that we were just talking about, the Long Beach Bake Off, the Long Beach Christmas Cookie.
Yeah.
And it goes on and on
Wait
and
a second,
on.
and that's not even his favorite. His favorite is Camp Justin, where he offers, I guess, a scholarship to 12 underprivileged high school kids. Yeah, that's your favorite program, huh?
It is.
Out of all of that, no. First of all, how the hell do you do that? How do you do that?
Well,
What's your secret?
I'm doing things that I love to do, first of all, so it doesn't even feel like work, and you just get up and you have a purpose for doing each of those activities, and I find joy in them, and I find
JoyScore
purpose. Yeah, JoyScore.
I bet you this guy's JoyScore is going to be like 1,000.
And I find purpose in just doing it, and so I just have started all of these events, contests, and projects that I love or I wanted to improve or see happening here in my city.
So this Camp Justin thing, did that already happen, or is that something that's in the process of happening?
It happens the week after school is out, because that's usually when students are available, because they start summer school programs or athletic programs.
So what inspired that? Well, do you remember the moment that you kind of discovered, like, what happened? How'd you walk into that?
So I'll take you back to in college. I went to Africa on a singing team with I think there were 8 of us from college.
All right, what's your favorite song that you like to sing?
He's not really
What do you like to sing?
Sentence.
I don't sing anymore.
Yes, you do.
Not in public.
Not even in the shower?
No. I sing at church, but that's about it.
Oh, gotcha.
But I was singing there, and I wanted to after 20 years, I wanted to get my singing team back together. One of the singing team members had died, and others were married with kids, and they just couldn't go back for a reunion and go back over there and sing. So I said, I'm going to take those 2 weeks that I would have spent there and do something in my own city. And I was thinking, why don't I do some sort of a day school program with kids, little kids. And then I asked my friend who worked at the Long Beach Education Foundation for the Long Beach Unified School District, and she put me in touch with 2 groups at Millikan High School. And she said, they will help you find the perfect 13 students, and I found 13 incoming high school seniors. And my idea was to give them opportunities to explore, dream, and discover, to go on day trips and some overnights, to learn and to experience things that they have never done before.
So what were the specifics of that initial maiden voyage? Where'd you go? Remember the maiden voyage?
I do. So we flew to San Francisco for the day. So hung out there, rode the cable car, went on a boat ride underneath the Golden Gate Bridge.
Cool.
And had clam chowder. We ate oysters on the half shell, and those kinds of things. We flew to Las Vegas for the day. For the night, we stayed at a 5-star hotel, the Bellagio.
Nice.
I had never stayed at a
I love that Bellagio. That big pool. Was it summer or was it hot?
It was hot. Yeah. It was definitely hot. But it was worth it. The idea is to give them those experiences. They're very used to going to school, going home, and that's the route they know. And I wanted to give them opportunities outside of that route.
Right.
So what's the result? So you give these kids this experience. What kind sort of transformations do you see within them?
Well, I still follow them on Facebook, and that's how I stay in contact with most of them. And then now I work with a different program called Operation Jumpstart, which is a mentor-mentee program in Long Beach for first-generation college-bound students. And so they identify the students.
What is first generation? What does that mean?
So their parents have never been to college.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yeah. And they're first generation in the United States as well.
Too.
So
nice.
2 things, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you take them on this trip. So I mean, they got to get themselves into some trouble. They're kids. How do you corral 13 kids? First generation kids that want to explore that world for the first time. How do you keep
the
them?
first few years when I worked only with Millikan High School, I had the campus security officer go with me every day. So we had a 15 passenger van. And so there's 13 students, me, and then this campus security officer. And now there's a staff member from Operation Jumpstart who goes along, because they know the students already. I don't know them. The first day I picked them up, they don't know me. I don't know them. Well, maybe they've Googled me or saw me on Facebook.
Did you have a favorite? Is there a particular story that kind of sticks out for you in relation to any of the students?
We go to various restaurants in Long Beach for breakfast and lunch every day. They're introduced to the mayor, to the city council members. We're having interactions with them, like lunches or dinners with them.
Right.
We go to a 5-star restaurant and we have an etiquette lesson. So these kids are.
I need an etiquette lesson. How
do
does that
too,
go?
and I've
How's
had it
that go?
several times.
How's that go? How's that etiquette lesson go? I need an
So
etiquette.
there's a woman who I know who teaches etiquette lessons. She used to be, she was at the Miss America pageant and the Miss USA pageant and did very well at both. I happen to own the Miss Long Beach pageant
Yep.
As well. So
One other thing, I didn't get to
The
that
Long
one.
Beach beauty pageant as well. He runs that.
But she teaches the etiquette lessons, and we were sitting at a 5-star restaurant having a 3-course meal. So
Beautiful. What a great way to learn.
Yeah,
A
but
long lost gift.
yes.
But with an individual kid, is there somebody that sticks out in that group? That kind of touches your heart?
There are, and not all of them are great success stories. You know, we all go through struggles in our lives, and some that even are sticking out in my mind right now are some that have
Like which
backslid.
one's sticking out in your mind right now? I see you getting a little
I can't
emotional
say their
over there.
name.
You don't have to say their name.
You can just say
Sometimes
student one.
drugs will can take over someone's life and point them in a different direction for this season of their life.
Right.
And so I know one that's dealing with that right now.
And so, what do you
That's
do?
difficult.
Do they come back to you, and you kind of reach out to them, or how do you get them to that next stage? So if they're in touch
They
with
don't. The idea of the whole program is for me to spend that one. It's a 1-week program, so it's 7 days, 6 or 7 days, and that's the time that I am able, as with all the other things that I'm doing, I can devote those 7 days to those students. And after that, it's just. We ask them to come and volunteer at our events to donate at least 12 hours of volunteer service over the next year. So I will see them at maybe my beach cleanup or at my Bulldog Beauty Contest or the Hot Dog Halloween Parade. And I can spend a little bit of time with them at that event and encourage them.
That's awesome. We run a writing, acting, directing workshop over for the Boy Scouts.
Yes, awesome.
You know, and we took 12 underprivileged kids and taught them the basics of writing, acting, and directing. And even within that group, you could. I mean, it's a tremendous. We're kindred spirits as far as that goes.
Yeah,
Appreciating watching that journey, watching their eyes open to new things, and watch them break out of their shell a little bit.
That's
And
right.
and it is very satisfying.
What was their feedback to you? Whether it was nonverbal or like, a photo post or.
They're very thankful people. Sometimes they've not been raised to say thank you to every little thing. Like, thank you. I just bought them athletic shoes, brand new athletic shoes for each of them, and I'm thinking, if someone had bought me a $60 pair of shoes, I would say thank you, Mr. Rudd. None of them actually said it. And then one night we did an overnight when we stayed at Lake Arrowhead at a cabin that my church owns, and I had a discussion about that. When someone gives you something, you say thank you.
Yeah.
Especially something of value.
Yeah. It's part of that
appreciation.
etiquette lesson, long lost thank you notes, handwritten thank you
but
notes.
you know
and
deep
everything.
down inside that the level of appreciation is probably something that they haven't learned to express yet. We've had a few guests here on the show that they talk about their breakthroughs and their epiphanies as teenagers that actually molded them as adults that they are, and they realize at some point that they're not open enough. They want to be open enough. They wanted to be able to express things they weren't able to express, and that's sort of like one of those gateways that they seemingly have to walk through to go, you know what, I want to change this, and it sends them on that path. But I'm sure in their hearts they're just not understanding how to put it in perspective.
And on the final day, the final moment where I dropped them off back at the Operation Jumpstart building, I was saying goodbye and giving each of them a hug, and they become a hugger at the end of the week too.
Yeah.
So they're a little more trusting of a stranger.
Some of these kids got to be 35, 40, 37 years old now. Do you see them? You've been
Well,
running the
you
program
just
for-
started this.
Yeah, I started it like 8-9 years ago.
Oh, 9 years ago. Oh, gotcha.
So they're late 20s.
Yeah.
Did any of them come back around?
They do from time to time come to my, especially the beach cleanup, because it happens so often and it's so easy. It's every month.
It is easy
So
to jump
30
in and
minutes.
give.
That's a great transition into your beach cleanup. Tell us about that.
So I started this, it was my first event that I started in Long Beach, and this was 19 years ago. And I was teaching beach boot camp classes at the time, and I wanted to pick up the trash that was on the beach because I noticed that the city of Long Beach was not able to pick it up fast enough with their tractors and with the rakes and whatever they had in place. So I was teaching beach boot camp, and I asked my students to help me on a Saturday right after class pick up some trash for 30 minutes. I said, it's not going to take long. So 12 of them stayed and picked up trash. And at the end of that, I said, can you come back next month on the third Saturday of the month at 10 o'clock at Granada Avenue, and will you bring your friends? And they did. And the next month, you bring your friends, and they did. And so now we had 170 something people last Saturday.
So it's every third Saturday of the month
Every
here
month.
in
Rain or shine.
Rain
Yeah.
or shine here in Long Beach. We
At Granada Avenue and Belmont Shore.
get Granada Avenue and Belmont Shore. If you want to go down there and pick up, I'm going to go.
And
That
that's a
sounds like
simple
kinda
way to
fun.
increase your joy score is by being of service. Justin, can you share your passion? I was kind of bragging about you when I interviewed a long time ago about you shared with me that you felt it was our right to be of service, like our duty to be of service to one another. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think we all have purposes on earth to do things, and I think that my thing is to help other people and to be of service, and not only to humans, but to animals, especially for me, and to the environment. So those are the three areas of life here on earth that I'm concentrating on, and I want to live my life for those purposes, to help animals, to help people, and to help the environment.
And how would you say that has helped you reach your potential, and how could you encourage others to find their potential? Because someone might look at everything you do and go, wow, I don't do
I'm
anything.
going, wow. It's wow.
I don't do
wow.
anything. I need to do something. But how could you give them a little help?
You know, if I believe that if you are living your life in a purposeful way, you're going to find joy, love, and peace and happiness, all of those things. You're going to have just such a peace about you and what you are doing and what you are offering this world. We all are capable of doing more. We might get to a place where I can't do anything else. I'm at 60 events, contests, and projects, but I can do it in a different way, or I can do it in a better way, or I can add something else. There is
Right.
always room for improvement.
I mean, even just I keep saying, I'm being repetitive, but I want to know your rhythm. What does your day look like? What like you're on vacation now, relatively speaking, right?
Yes.
But let's say I wanted to be you. I wanted to be Superman. I wanted to be Batman. I wanted to be
This is how I do it.
Captain America, all wrapped up in one, and that comes in Justin Rudd. That comes in that shape right there. That guy right there. It's like,
So-
what does it look like? How many hours of sleep do you get? What time do you
At
wake
least
up?
8 hours of sleep every night, and the idea is that I get up in the morning. And
What time?
Like this morning, I was up at 6:30. When you have a bulldog, that sleeps in
POTUS.
the
He
bed
has a
with you-
bulldog. I think it's POTUS, right?
Yeah.
POTUS.
POTUS.
He's got a freaking bulldog named POTUS. Perfect. We'd be so lucky to have a POTUS that was a bulldog.
Yeah. So POTUS and my partner Ralph, Ralph will usually take him out, and Ralph will deal with POTUS in the mornings, and I'll deal with him all through the day because I work from home. Anyway, I woke up early because of that this morning, and then I'll usually get something to eat and put the books out. I have a Red Wagon book swap, so I put out about 670 books every day, plus magazines.
670.
And these are
That's
probably
impressive.
the extra books that he has laying around that he already went through and digested, and he's got to get them out of his house, so he's got 600 books.
And what
out
corners
there.
are those on?
So it's the corner of St. Joseph and Vista in Belmont Heights. And we've been doing the book swap for 5 years. So we average probably 25 books a day right now that go out and 25 books a day that come in.
Oh, you
And
drop them
so-
off too. People
Yep.
drop them off too.
People can donate books.
What
as
corners are those?
St. Joseph at Vista.
St. Joseph and Vista, and
It's like
It's a red wagon.
Yeah.
and there's just a red wagon sitting out there with a bunch of cool books.
Yeah, you'll see it. And magazines. So we have 273 subscriptions to magazines that come to my house every month, and those get out there as well.
So how did
Popular
what
magazines.
inspired that particular movement?
So I organize an event called the Long Beach Giving Project.
The Lummox,
Long Beach Giving Project.
Long Beach.
Yeah. And one of
Lummox.
my participants, I learned about this book cart that she had, and she had about 60 books every day in front of her house on Cherry Avenue near 7th Street. And I said, that's a great idea. I would like to do that. So I took my second bulldog, whose name was Riley, and I took his red wagon. When he was older, he couldn't get around so well. So We pulled him around in a red wagon, like to go to coffee on 2nd Street or to go to lunch or dinner on 2nd Street. And I took his wagon and I put all of the books that we had extra on the bookshelf that were just collecting dust, and I put them in the wagon, and then a sign that said "Take one, bring one," or "Donate one, take one," something like that, and just started it. And this was 5 years ago, and now it is what it is with 670 books a day.
And so, what's some of the feedback? I mean, people. I mean,
there's a little girl came, I think it was Friday, with her mom. They were in a white Jeep, and she's kind of shy. I guess she was 9 or 10 years old, and I started talking to her because I was stamping books and putting books out, because we put a stamp in each book that says Riley's Red Wagon Book Swap, because some people were taking the books and selling them online.
Oh.
And so the stamp will discourage people from selling them, or it devalues the book a little bit. But this little girl said, "I love reading so much. Reading is my favorite thing to do." And I said, "Here, these books are free. I'm glad you're here." And I saw her again this week already, so she's been back. And then there's another neighbor who comes. Maybe she's in 5th grade now, but she's been coming since she was maybe 1st grade. And she's has autism, and she comes every day with her parent, mom or her dad, every day to look at books.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that you have it. I've dropped books off there.
Yes.
So it's a great resource.
And they're beautiful books.
Absolutely.
Valuable
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Not just the value of the book, but the knowledge that you're going to get from those books.
Absolutely.
what's your favorite book?
Wow. Probably the Bible is my favorite book, but the last book that I read was...
Anything specific in the Bible that sticks out in your mind? That runs through your head every...
It's a song, actually. But I'm sure it's a verse too. It says, "Be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world and all that is in it." So saying that all the problems that are in this world, all the negativity that happened, there's somebody that's taking care of all of that, and you got to just allow God to take care of all that, and you just deal with what you're put on.
So that gives you inspiration. That's part of his key right there.
Yeah, and so
that's part of Superman right there.
That's right.
So after you drop off all those books, I'm going to bring us back to your daily timeline.
Yeah, sure. Oh, right. Sorry about that.
No, we're like circling Justin Rudd here.
Yes.
All you do and what you create. So then what happens?
I check email and I do some posts on Facebook. I have a pretty consistent posts on Facebook, several a day, and I try to put some inspiring messages on there as well. And
I saw those yummy cookies
What was
yesterday.
they were great.
You put cookies out there too with the books?
No, online.
Cookies and books.
I was like, it was like they're fresh out of the oven.
We bought a house in December, so I haven't had my own house before. So we rented for a small apartment for 15 years, but we finally got our own house, and it has a beautiful kitchen and a beautiful oven. And I finally made cookies, and they came out great.
Yeah,
What
they looked
kind
amazing.
of cookies you made?
Chocolate chip cookies.
Chocolate chip cookie. Yeah, we should have brought some chocolate
So I
chip
made
cookies.
a little video, and
We
it's-
missed. We
it's
screwed
on
up. We should
Facebook.
have a plate of chocolate chip cookies.
I
for
know.
this guy.
I should have.
And then I also started and take care of the Long Beach, California Facebook page with 99,000 something fans.
So is there room for people to still go there?
Oh yeah, anyone
Can you plug it one more time?
Yeah, it's called Long Beach Calif, CALIF.
Oh yeah.
Long
And it's
Beach.
a picture of the Queen Mary,
Yeah.
and it's by far the most. It's very popular. Obviously, you can ask like, where's the best? Somebody asked last night, where's the best steakhouse in Long Beach? And I don't put negative news on there. I don't put about shootings and murders. All that stuff.
That's kind of what JoyScore is about. That's kind of what this station's about too. It's trying to keep it positive,
I
trying to
could
keep
put
it
that
up.
kind of thing and get even more people pumped up about using the page, but I choose not to.
Yeah. Well, there's enough networks
So
where you can get that
ideally,
information.
you want people to use that page as a reference to Long Beach, basically.
Yeah, it's Long Beach specific.
So it's very long. That's very cool too. Make sure you tune into that.
Yeah,
I'm going to go there. I'm not even. I'm on the outside here. I'm learning all about Long Beach.
And so, emails.
And then
tell us your success story. Since you have 22 newsletters
I do.
and 3 posts a day, give us some social media advice here.
Stay consistent. So post regularly.
Yeah.
Even if you don't feel like you've got anything that's immediate that needs to be posted immediately, come up with something and keep it interesting, obviously, and try to change it up between video post, a photo post, and then some with nothing, just some words, so that and then obviously if you can use hashtags and tag other people in your pictures and in your videos, that works too.
Beautiful.
So he's got the emails down,
And then-
he gets out the newsletters,
And then what
he gets
happens?
out. And then what time is it?
Yeah, I teach at the Belmont Athletic Club 3 days a week.
That's right.
so-
That's how you can find this guy. Get on to the athletic club. The guy teaches he's ripped. He is Clark Kent. He's ripped underneath that jacket too. I bet.
Body sculpting at the
Body sculpting. God dang! I gotta get in there.
9:15, 3 days a week, and I take 2 other classes. So every day of the week, weekday, I'm there at the gym, so I get at least an hour workout, and then go home and continue doing event preparation or writing press releases or contacting people or sending out those newsletters, updating the Facebook pages, having meetings. I usually have a few meetings a week with people who are trying to either put together an event or find out about something that I'm doing. So I'll meet them at a coffee shop on 2nd Street, or sometimes they'll come to my house.
Beautiful. And how do you recommend people jump in to be of service to others as far as that little inspiration and getting it off the ground? Because you mentioned how the Turkey Trot funds all the wonderful things you do.
Yeah,
it's
the
like
Turkey Trot probably funds 80% of what we do for the year, the entire year.
Yeah, it's very
So it's a 501c3 event.
Yes, the nonprofit is called Community Action Team, which is ironic because it's the acronym is CAT, and I do DOG stuff.
You sound like you work for the FBI or the CIA.
Me and POTUS.
You and POTUS. You're undercover. You're an asset.
Certainly an asset. He's a blessing.
Yeah.
To any town that would get to have him.
But I would say for people to get involved with service, they can check out my newsletter. It's just my justinrudd.com/newsletter, and they can register for it. And we're always sending opportunities for people to get involved. So at least once a month, sometimes twice a month, we'll send a newsletter saying the beach cleanup is coming up. Show up by 10 o'clock, free parking, free door prizes, gloves, refreshments. It's 30 minutes. It's all you have to do is show up.
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
we have very easy opportunities to get involved.
And
Why Long Beach? Why fall in love with Long Beach? What was? How did you find this little diamond in the rough?
You know, my partner at the time was living in Belmont Shore, and I came down to visit and fell in love with the city and with him, and then just decided to stay. It's a good fit for me right now for what I'm doing for this season of my life. And I love it. I love Long Beach a lot.
When you're running for mayor, city councilman.
Yeah. It's just not my thing right now. Politics can be very dividing, and I don't want to be involved in something that's going to divide an audience I'm trying to reach. Politics.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people say it's more advantageous outside of those limitations, for sure.
And thankfully, I know all of the elected officials. So
Well, they'd be lucky to know you. You better get your vote.
thank you. Yeah. And I just try to use the influence that I have and that I've worked to acquire over these last 21 years in Long Beach to do good, to be of service, to be helpful to people, to be encouraging to people, whether it's in their fitness workouts at the Belmont Athletic Club, or if they're in my weight loss program, or if they're coming to my photography contests or my cooking contests, my baking contests.
Cooking, everything that's good in life. This man is involved.
share a
in
little bit
everything
about
that's
the
good in
spelling
life.
bee. Like, I love this aspect. You have etiquette lessons and spelling bee, which is a lot. You know, now we have auto check or whatever.
Spell check, yeah.
It auto corrects your words into different words you weren't even trying to say. But if you can share a little bit about spelling.
So, probably 17 or 18 years ago, I started a spelling bee in Long Beach, and it was called the Southern California Kids Spelling Bee Championship. And I had success with it, and I needed a $1,000 prize so that kids would come and enter. I needed it to be I needed there to be a big prize, and I didn't have $1,000 at the time. I didn't have much money when I first moved here, but what I did have was relationships, and I asked friends to donate $25. So I got 40 friends to donate $25 and came up with $1,000. And then I advertised it, the $1,000 Southern California Kids Spelling Bee Championship.
How many kids you come out for that?
Yeah, you would get probably 100. in
That's
that contest.
amazing.
Yeah. And then I said to myself, why am I limiting myself to Southern California? There is not a national kids spelling bee. So
Really?
I decided I would do my own and call it the National Kids Spelling Bee. There is a national spelling bee. It's for usually middle schoolers, and that's the one that's held on ESPN in Washington, D.C.
Yeah,
So,
just
but
saw.
there was nothing for little kids. There was nothing for adults on a national level. So I said, I'm going to create my own.
Beautiful.
So a
Now
lot
I
of-
have a national adult spelling bee as well.
You do. Well, I wouldn't be even beginning to endeavor in that particular. But I could go watch.
Yeah.
I could go watch. I
it's
can't
like-
spell.
And sitting there in the audience myself, and I help the pronouncer. I'm a judge, and I'm just biting my fingernails. Oh my God! Please get this letter right. You want them to do well.
It is extremely dramatic.
Yeah, you miss one letter and you're out.
Yeah.
Even
Oh,
if you meant to
you don't
say
need-
F and an S came out, you're out.
Well, you know what? That's kind of beautiful though, because it has become sort of get an award for just showing up. But the spelling bee, it
No.
doesn't even permit that for a second, and that's a very important lesson in life, to figure out how to roll with some of the disappointments, or at least take it as a lesson, or learn to take it as a lesson and use it as an inspiration to get better. I think we have a society where they're not so used to that sort of, or a lot of society seems to be buffering that sort of an experience, and so you must see the heartbreak.
Oh, I do.
It must be just crushing sometimes.
In fact, with the kids spelling bee, we have what we call comfort counselors. So like Miss Long Beach or Miss Teen Long Beach will, because sometimes they'll get emotional, start crying immediately, and then we ask the Miss Long Beach to help the kid off the stage to find their parent in the audience.
Oh, cool.
So they're
Nice.
not walking.
Crying.
Yeah.
But what's
Aw.
interesting, you're providing extremely. That's very important.
You're
That's-
helping them
that's-
to learn.
Absolutely.
You're encouraging them to learn better spelling, which is
Absolutely.
important.
So on that note, you're like doing everything, helping everybody. What are you doing for yourself? What do you struggle with? Are you struggling with anything in your life right now, or have you figured it out?
No, I mean, I have some back issues that jump up every now and then.
Damn
We need to
back, I
get you
hate
a
the back.
massage at the Belmont.
Yeah. And then, I misspell some words. In fact, the first year I sent out the press release to the LA Times and the Orange County Register, all the big papers, and I misspelled a word on the press release.
That's the biggest challenge of this guy's life. His back's a little sore, and he misspells a word every once in a while. Should we all be so
And
lucky?
I'm learning to cook. I set off the alarm in the
The
kitchen.
fire alarm.
The fire alarm.
That's where you want to talk to Suzanne. This is the foodie over here. I mean, she'll.
But I'm doing better.
Well, your cookies looks perfect.
They were great.
They caught my eye for sure.
So what? I mean, out of all of that, I would imagine that your brain, I'm assuming, is continually looking for the next thing that will help influence the community in a positive way. Is there something that you want to start that you haven't started yet? Is there a bigger, broader picture that you see that could help us all, maybe even as a society, not only just in Long Beach
Sure.
or Belmont Shore?
I've always had a heart to help the homeless in our city.
It's a
and to
big challenge.
come up with ways to alleviate their problems and their mental health issues that come along with that. So I do some things there behind the scenes, but maybe a full-time shelter for the homeless, and then a full-time no-kill shelter for our city as well for animals, especially dogs and cats.
Yes,
I hope.
I would love to see. So that's a
beautiful.
dream.
That's beautiful.
And then a big dream. I go to
How much you need for that? Figure you got a budget on that yet?
I don't. No.
We have a lot of riverbed though. Plenty of space.
There's got to be space. There's got to be.
Yeah.
There is. It's
And then there's the strategy of housing the homeless and then providing them the psychological and the medical care that they need, and then figuring out how to get them the skills that they
and we bring all the
the things
dogs
that
and
they-
cats to them to comfort them.
That's right.
the things that they want to do. I got you. That would be the Shangri-La, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the third thing would be for the past 6 or 7 times I've been to Africa, and for the past several summers I go into rural Kenya and work with AIDS orphans, helping them to get educated, to get housing, food, and medical care. And what I would love to do is to fund and build a boys' high school there. They have a girls' high school that's part of the Tumaini International program, which is a great opportunity for them to get out of that cycle of poverty when they can get well educated.
So you hear that, people? There's 3 or 4 things that this extraordinary being wants to do. Come on, guys. You know, you got his name. You know where he's at. You know where his nonprofit is. Cough up that money.
Yeah.
Cough up that money. You know who you are. You got it. Justin Rudd, you find that guy here and take care of his needs, because he's a doer and a shaker and a mover and making everything better.
Absolutely. And if you can share with the audience a call to action as it relates to joy, how we might spread a little joy tomorrow.
He's an example of spreading joy.
Well, of course, but like a simple way, you know.
I mean, as easy as smiling at somebody that you cross a path with tomorrow or tonight, or wherever you are at whatever moment you're listening to this. I believe that every single person that you come across every single day is put in your path for a specific purpose. And if it's even just to smile or to say hello to them, maybe you're the only person that smiled at them for an entire day or an entire week.
Isn't that just, you're kind of saying just being nice is sort of even a commodity in itself, because we're sort of imploding sometimes as a people walking around with our little issues, when there's people with big issues that just might need a smile, right?
Or if I don't have a cell phone, but if you text, you can text somebody or a relative or a friend and just say, just thinking about you today and just wanted to say you're on my mind. Have a great day. Encourage somebody that way. Send them a Facebook message. Send them an email. Or just choose 1 or 2 people.
Or a good old-fashioned letter.
Yeah, write a letter. Exactly. Find a stamp.
Those are nice.
I'll tell you what, you brought joy to my day, brother.
Oh,
I mean, it's a nice, sobering reminder that we can all do more. And any other question? Anything else you must say? Oh no, your time is limited.
Yeah. Well, Sherry, where they can find you, the few different spaces that are quick to access everything.
Find this guy. Give him money that he needs to do what he's got to do.
So my website is just my name, justinrudd.com. It's JUSTINRUDD.com. On Facebook, it's just my name, Justin Rudd. And I have Instagram, but when you don't have a cell phone, it's not easy to take pictures and post them. So I literally have posted once. So Facebook, I'm at my computer a lot during the day, so Facebook's the way to go.
Yeah, Instagram's just gotten easier. I had the same problem for a while, and then I finally caved. But now you can post pictures from the computer on Instagram.
Yeah.
Good. So we got about 30 seconds left.
You know, throughout the day, I will post affirmations on my Facebook page, and I'll always end them with this quote. It says, "Life is good and getting better." You've heard life is good. It's a business. But I believe that, but I believe even going beyond that.
Life is good and it's getting better.
Yeah, I agree.
Life is good and it's getting better. Mantra, baby. Life is good.
Life is good and it's
getting
better.
It's getting better. Yes, it is. I know life is better just because you walked into this room. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for the opportunity.
And I look forward to seeing you over at the gym.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Roll that commercial, my brother.
Thank you, Justin.
Oh my God! How about that, Justin Rudd?
He's pretty amazing. What would you say? Should have asked him to bring those cookies, though.
We should have brought those cookies for sure. I mean, just the living example.
I told you he's like Forrest Gump. He's like this deep, sincere man that's in service to all.
Well, I wouldn't say Forrest Gump. I think there's an outward genius as well as his. Somehow that heart of his is so big.
Well, the southern aspect of him reminds me of Forrest Gump.
I mean, just how many the beach cleanup, the books, the helping the people at the gym, the kids, the spelling bee, the freaking camp, the 22 newsletters.
We can all do more.
You can all do more. He's got those 3 dreams, and I know there's people out there that can just buzz this guy up and talk to him, take a meeting with him, let him take you down to Belmont Shore, take coffee with this guy, and fork over some of that extra money you got sitting in that bank rotting away.
Don't hoard it. Give it.
Hey, we got another guy. Now, he's kind of special. He goes by the proper animal. The proper animal. Now, what the hell could that mean, right? But this proper animal is reflective of. Well, let's roll a little clip. Can we roll that clip? Are we rolling?
Hello. My gym with no people in it. 18 months. 3 parts. Part 1. For the first 6 months, I did it quietly and privately, and Proper Animal did not exist to you. And in that 6 months, I went from morbid obesity to just slightly obese on the obesity scale. And then I created Proper Animal. Over the next 12 months, became it. And I went from morbid obesity to just obese to average at my gym to the best to gym with no people in it, the best.
Come on in, Proper Animal. Come on and turn off that video. Come on in, Proper Animal.
Look at the stud, the Proper Animal.
The Proper Animal. What's up, brother?
Spreading some joy here.
Stay in camera. Stay over here. Just you can stand in front of this. If you stand here, then we'll be able to see you there and here. Look at that body, dude.
I think you should play some Bad to the Bone.
You get him? Can you see him from that wide angle? It's the Proper Animal. This guy's special. He's just not as crazy as he looks with that silly ass hat he's got on his head. He's going to tell us
This is Buddha.
This is Buddha with a stick.
Buddha in the house.
Does anybody come and sit like this in the chair?
I love it. It's perfect.
Can you see it? Can you see him in the chair? Pan down. Look at this guy in Indian style. Can you got that robot on that camera?
You ready to talk like this?
I love it.
Well, make America great again.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Absolutely. F yeah, for sure.
F yeah.
So listen.
swearing.
So tell us about.
I already did.
It's okay. He'll do it in a moment.
Tell us.
Sure.
Listen, you're extremely fit. You look great. I mean, I was been watching your Proper Animal videos. Tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of the Proper Animal and what that's about, and how you're inspiring people with the Proper Animal. And
Well, the Proper Animal was created in my mind.
pull that mic towards you a little bit.
Okay.
There you go.
The Proper Animal was created up here before, and the best thing about my Instagram is if you scroll down, you will see that I was very overweight. Like I've lost 30 pounds and I'm not a big guy. So
you shared that journey of losing that weight online.
I did. And I created that. I created the Proper Animal, that persona, and then became it.
And so, well, tell us some of the steps. Where'd you get the concept? I know that you were into the Tom Brady technique there for a minute.
How did you know it was Tom Brady?
Because I watched the videos.
It's an amazing story. We love TB12.
Yeah.
TB12.
He's a Jedi. He's the greatest of all time.
He
I'm
is.
from Boston, so
Oh, gotcha.
that's religion.
Yeah.
But my
I don't know if I
friend-
go to Boston with that hat on though.
You don't go a lot. I can't be in LA. With this hat.
Yeah, you can't go
You
very
can't go far. I'm grateful that I wasn't attacked.
We believe in just spreading joy and non-judgment.
So on this awesome frame of yours, you were 30 pounds overweight,
Yeah.
and then you just started putting yourself on Instagram and inspiring people and showing people how you did it, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I actually, before I did a lot of work before I put it on Instagram because I was embarrassed. I was obese. So I put in 6 months of hard work at the gym and got to a point where, okay, I can at least create this character. And then I put it on there. And I knew that by putting it on there would be this accountability thing.
Right.
And that I would, become this proper animal. And the proper animal, the name, it is from Tom Brady actually, but it's a great story. My buddy, Scott, who is an assistant coach now at UCLA for Chip Kelly, he got to watch Tom Brady and Julian Edelman work out. And so it was like 100 passes in 100-degree heat. Edelman's like got shoulder pads and a helmet on. Tom Brady's got shoulder pads and just throwing laser after laser after laser, completing every pass. No drops, totally efficient. And then they're done, and I'm texting him, and it just came to me. I'm like, okay, well, Tom Brady's a Jedi. He's like God. but
Tom Brady's like
he's a god to a lot of people.
He is. But Edelman is just an animal. The guy's just a total savage.
So watching them inspired you.
And Edelman,
clearly.
Yeah, and then I said, yeah, he's a proper animal. I'm like, oh, that's a fucking great download. I'm like, I'm gonna be the proper animal, and then that's how
it started.
Yeah.
The character began.
So some steps. So listen, our audience. I mean, I'm a little heavy right now. So, and there's probably a few.
You've always been in amazing shape. So.
Well, there's other people out there that can be quite inspired and are sure really frustrated with trying to get the extra pounds off, especially as we get older. It gets a little bit more difficult. And so you shared every step of that journey. So did you come up with some steps? I mean, you also teach meditation. You're a yogi.
Yeah.
That's where I met you.
Yeah.
That's where I met you. Saul David Ray's class.
Saul David Ray.
Yeah, baby. Teaching and healing, right? Getting strong.
Yeah.
The OG, back when there was like 3 yoga studios in LA.
Yeah, no one was doing yoga.
Right.
And so did you map your progress, or did you kind of have some steps?
Yeah,
what was the proper animal state?
The meditation was, I was already teaching meditation, so that's first. That's the first.
How were you teaching meditation? What kind of meditation were you teaching?
Well, I teach a Zen practice.
Take our audience into some meditation. Got 3 minutes.
Sure. So you just
we're going to meditate now.
You relax your shoulders and just pay attention to the physical sensation of your breathing. And so that's so simple, right? But challenging because thoughts arise, emotions.
Are you taking
arise.
us into meditation
Yeah, we're
right
going.
now? Oh, we're going right now? Okay.
You're not meditating?
Sometimes he's not good at listening.
And so you're following the physical sensation of the breath. And then with the mind's eye, you're also following the physical sensation of the breath. And the practice is really not just like, oh, I'm in the void. It's like, oh, I'm distracted, back to the breath. Or I'm feeling something, okay, feel it, back to the breath. So it's this constant, vigilant, but gentle reining in of our attention. And we begin to develop some attention control. And if we can control our attention, it's a huge deal. It's a big deal, because most of us aren't controlling our attention. We're constantly being pulled outward.
Absolutely.
Are you using a yoga breath, or are you just observing breath?
It's in the beginning, you take a deeper breath. You're just watching. By watching the breath will slow down. It's not the ujjayi breath. It's like the breath you would have when you were sleeping.
Your normal breathing.
So we're observing breath. Those of you that know me have heard me say that 1,000 times.
He's great. You're always breathing. You don't have to breathe.
Right. It's the anchor. It's
Yeah.
the anchor. It's the main anchor. But there's other anchors. But the breath is, for a Zen perspective, probably what they use most often.
Right.
But it's not actual Zen, because if you actually go to and get to sit with the monks, which I've gotten to do, there's no instruction.
Yeah.
You know, you're in there and
I open.
yeah.
So you teach the meditation, and people have been giving you feedback. So any cool stories you can share about proper animal enlightening?
Sure.
Individuals?
The whole thing is a product of meditation. The meditation, there's many different types of meditation. Actually, while I was having that dialogue with my friend who was watching Tom Brady and Julian Edelman, I was doing my morning pages. Okay, so that's you're familiar with that? The
Morning pages? How do you do it? What's that?
It's 3 pages every morning.
So you write 3 pages every morning about...
It's like a brain dump. You just like whatever's on your mind. and there's something. There's
And then
some
what do you do
sort
with
of
the pages? You
luminous-
burn them? You throw them in the trash?
You light them on fire.
You light them on fire.
You don't want anyone to
Light
see
that
that
shit.
shit.
You post them
Light
on
that shit
Twitter.
fire.
No, you don't. That's not for anyone.
Light it on fire,
You don't-
folks.
You don't even want to read that ever again. But it's like it's a creative outlet, and so the download came while I was doing that. So that's how it began. But it's really about it's making a decision. So if you any type of transformation or change is a decision. It starts in the mind, and you have to believe that you can do it. And so the first decision was for me with the weight. It was like it was actually an away from motivation. Like, this sucks. Like, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I feel. I'm embarrassed. This is unacceptable. That's decision one. And
Go
then-
to his Instagram and you'll see that he likes how he looks now.
And I like.
He likes how he
I'm
looks.
not- I don't wear clothes.
But if
He
you
doesn't
can
work-
Why
encourage,
would I wear clothes anymore?
if you can encourage the listener that maybe is not so motivated yet, how to potentially get motivated?
Well, I guess if
That was
if
it.
there's
He had the aha moment in the meditation. So
if
he's saying meditate and then
I'm saying meditate. You just spend.
But
a
some
little bit of
people,
time.
you know, if they're really depressed or really stuck in their thing, I know, or have a hard time sitting on a cushion. So any other tips?
Still meditate, but you can. But what I recommend to my students is that I get many first-time ever meditators. That's
Right.
actually what I love the most, beginner's mind. And so I just say a minute every day. That's 10 to 12 breaths.
Right.
That's it.
So we can start 10 to 12 breaths.
That is will work. That-
all of
I-
you out there, let's do 10 to 12 breaths together, okay? Let's do 10, 12. Observe 10, 12 breaths. Let's see what happens in the aftermath of observing. Don't control breath, right?
No, just
Observe breath.
Count. We'll count on the exhale, and I'll start the count, and then we'll be quiet. Right? We'll inhale. Exhale. 1. And when you're home, you can do it to yourself. You can count quietly to yourself. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3, and we'll do the rest quietly, and I'll catch up with you at 9 or 10.
We're meditating. I'm on breath 9. I feel more relaxed.
Inhale. Exhale wherever you're at. 9. Inhale. Let it all go. 10. Every day.
Awesome.
That's the thing. It's consistency. It's establishing this mindset.
So what happened to you after your meditation? How do you feel?
I feel amazing.
So what happened in that 12 breaths?
All kinds of physiological things are happening. Our nervous system's settling down. All the anti-inflammatory things already are happening just in a few breaths. And very practically, like in life, you can always take a breath or 2 or 3. How often have you wished you took a breath or 2 before you hit send or said something? Right? That's very practical.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
For first timers, and I get it, it's hard, but just do 10 breaths a day. That's it.
Don't they sell those instructions with that hat? Like, if you buy this hat, you have to know how to take 12
If
breaths to
you
relax.
see this hat, you have to learn to do that, right?
If you see that hat, you got to learn how to relax.
You see this
You
hat,
got to learn how to.
right?
And if you
So
wear the
helping.
hat, you have to know how to run.
Yeah. I'm helping any way I can. So,
You quiet your mind first.
quiet,
And then
just a close look. So a minute a day, you'll actually start seeing things in your life shift a little bit, not the big things, but little things, and you'll be like, oh, and then from that experience, you'll be like, okay, maybe I can
What's
do
a
2 minutes a day.
You went What was that? Was that like a aha moment or something?
Yeah, it was like
An epiphany, a clarity.
you will have one. You will get one of those throughout. Like if you did that for 7 days or even 3 or 4 days, something will happen throughout the course of that day. Like some low level annoyance will arise. Like some person that you don't really like will text you, and you'll see the text come in, and it will have no physical charge on you. In your mind, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's my annoying friend, but there'll be actually no physical thing happening in your body. Be like, oh wow, that's interesting. So run the experiment, and anybody can do a minute a day. And so consistency is way more important than duration. And I've just seen it. I've seen it work. Because
Absolutely.
then you'll get the feedback from the universe, and you'll be like, oh, I'll do a little more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Easy.
All right, so out of that, that's step one. So out of that meditation, you had your aha moment, which guided you into the next step of you challenging your perception of yourself, really.
Sure, and I think a lot of the times it's just seeing things clearly and to not lie to ourselves, right? And so I'd been lying to myself for, however long it took me to kind of get really overweight. It was very easy to lie about that, right? Oh, I'm fine, I was in a relationship, I was really comfortable, I was like, who cares? And then you turn around and
Then she dumped you.
No, actually no, but you're fat. You turn around and you're fucking obese, and it's like a total embarrassment. So yeah, I mean.
You have a hot girlfriend?
Not anymore.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I'm a new human being.
Okay.
I've entered a new realm.
So then you got that really hard look at yourself, which is kind of a serious moment. Like, how hard on yourself were you when you?
I was really hard on myself, and I think a lot of times, in certain cases, I'm super contrarian, right? With the hat, like I think in some cases, yes, we're too hard on ourselves. In other cases, we're too easy on ourselves. Like, you don't hear that a lot these days. You don't hear, hey, you're just being a little too easy on yourself.
Right.
And I think maybe, we need a little bit more of that.
No pain, no gains out.
Yeah. It's totally out. And I get that because it went too far in one direction. Now I think we're too far and, like, we're a little too soft. We're just culturally a little bit soft. And so I didn't mind being tough on myself. I didn't mind calling myself, fat. I didn't mind, because I knew that was going to push me in the direction I wanted to go. You have to know your audience. You have to know who you're dealing with. But I think we could be a little tougher.
So you were you got serious. You were like working out with athletes and chasing them up hills and working out with some serious dudes, trying to keeping up. It looked like you were keeping up. I didn't. They're short videos, so who knows how quickly you fell behind. But
no. With the meditation stuff, I got to work with like some world class people and. In acting and in sports, and so it also became this thing like I gotta like. It's like there's a mismatch here, right? Because and I was talking to Justin about this. We don't see a lot of, and he's doing amazing work with helping people lose weight. And you don't see a lot of people at the top of their game in whatever field it might be that are not physically fit.
Interesting observation. Very interesting observation.
Well, they're all
You said not many people are at the top of their game that aren't physically fit. Interesting.
Yeah. So, mind, body, spirit, and heart, emotions, because I always separate those two things, your spirit and your heart, emotive state of being, right? But there are people that are physically fit that aren't mentally well or spiritually well.
Sure.
Too, so that's to be noted.
So you got that, and then so what are the steps? Meditated? Then how did you go about learning about diet? How did you go about knowing how to get enough rest, or what were the next steps?
I mean, I knew what to do with the diet. It was basically you have to eliminate carbohydrates, but I didn't do that first.
How do you feel about sugar now?
I don't eat sugar at all.
Because it's why? It's like heroin.
It's like crack cocaine.
It is like crack. It's like a wild ride.
I'm just learning that. I'm learning that about myself, and I'm learning that I was totally addicted to it. Didn't even know because you're eating it your whole life.
Yep.
So, I think you get to a certain age, and maybe, I don't know, maybe that's true, maybe it's not, but for me, I got to a certain age, and I couldn't tolerate any of it. Meaning that even when I was on a ketogenic diet, which is where I lost most of my weight, that's the high-fat diet, low sugar, but still a little bit of vegetable, a little bit of this and that, just that little bit would actually make me crave like to have a cheat day, and I would go bananas on the cheat day. It worked, the diet worked, but that was not a good way to live my life. And then I just said, hey, you know what, I'm going to try this crazy carnivore diet, the most insane thing you'll ever see, and it's been the greatest thing I've ever done for my mind and my emotional.
Tell us about that
that's
diet.
like we just skipped a bunch of steps, and now we're in the present. So yeah, I mean, but that is all meat. Okay, now I was vegan for like 7 years. Okay, so there's a lot of baggage that came with that. But I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna try it, right? It's so insane that I just want to try stuff. I think we also need to like culturally just jump in and try stuff.
Right.
Instead of like trusting some sort of expert opinion or doctors, just like, get a few good referrals of people that you're seeing that have tried it and said they loved it and worked, and okay, and then try it. And just try it yourself. It's not dangerous to try. So it's basically you cut out all. This is amazing. It's awesomely insane, but you cut out all plants, so you don't eat vegetables.
Wow.
And fruit. And fruit. It's like the opposite of everything that we've learned. And I'm not even talking about like the old stuff that no one believes in, the standard American. I'm talking about like modern, like healthy plant-based living, which is like LA is ground zero for all that. It's like the opposite of all that.
Right. Well, a recent study through Chinese medicine is that 25% of people need to be carnivores, 25% need to eat plants, and then 50% need to eat a combination of the two.
I would say that's closer to the truth than whatever we think the truth is right now.
Right. So, and it works for you, right?
It's the greatest thing I've ever done.
So just meat, no eggs.
Yeah, like I'll have some eggs. Like I get to eat bacon.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the difference is the difference is I'm not craving any of it. I am not craving any of the sugar. Like I eat my meal, I eat till I'm full, and it's not this weird. It was always whatever I did was this weird kind of restraint, incredible discipline and willpower, and then this controlled binging.
Right. Yep.
Which was not very pleasant actually. Like I would get halfway through it. You ever have a cheat day where you're just like, I'm gonna eat.
Cheat day? Every day's a cheat day. I hide 30 pounds more than you'll hide 30 pounds because I'm taller.
Well, I mean, you've always been in incredible shape. I used to see, I don't think you worn a shirt. You didn't wear a shirt in your when I knew you back in the day.
Yeah, I wasn't wearing a shirt.
In Venice Beach, you didn't wear shirts.
I was ripped.
Yeah, I mean. So no, but like there's just no pull. And the big thing for me is I was basically an alcoholic. Like again, totally controlled, totally.
But that's
functional.
kind of sugar based though, right?
It was totally sugar based.
Right.
I have no desire for alcohol now.
That's awesome.
And I can't even tolerate it. So it's like,
yeah.
Like I'm not like, I was never anti-drinking. I was never like an AA guy or anything like that. I was like, drinking's great.
Yeah.
Love
but
to
your
drink.
system,
Now
it doesn't agree with your system.
I don't even want it anymore. That's a miracle.
Yeah.
That's a miracle. So yes, I would, on the Chinese medicine, I would just say that everybody should try it.
Right. Well, you have to listen to your body because everyone's different. I mean, I realized that when I had.
Because I didn't, the benefits that I'm espousing right now, I didn't even know that anything was wrong. I just thought that was life. I just thought you woke up in the morning miserable.
Right.
So do you think the key was the sugar throwing off everything at the end of the meal? The carbs, the addictive carbs sort of led to the cravings, and then that sort of supplanted the alcohol and sort of.
Right.
So with the meat diet, this is kind of amazing. I've never heard anybody say this, by the way, because I mean, what if I am going through a program like an AA program or something like that? I wondered we could actually help a lot of people.
I think it'll be the new. I think it'll be the new thing because I think many, if they're like me, who considered myself just a functional kind of like weekend alcoholic, that. I guess then I wouldn't call myself. I don't like labels. I don't like those labels.
Well, get stuck in that. Yeah.
But it was purely that I just needed some sugar. I just needed some sugar, and so I would, and that's compounded with the weird restriction thing where like if I know I'm going to go out drinking, then I won't eat as much that day, and so then I wanted to eat more, and so I'm still learning though.
I would have to figure out how to eat a meat pizza because there's always. You
don't eat bread.
No
bread.
Bread
no
is
rice.
Because no bread, no rice, no.
Bread is poison.
Yeah, no rice.
I like to say.
Well, they say the wheat in the bread is actually a known addictive material.
Sure.
So no grains.
The grains are addictive. Isn't that hard to believe because all the breads that we eat? But
I mean that's the foundation of the pyramid. Right?
Yep.
But I mean, just like
you could just take that bottom layer off.
I mean, you just look around and you're like, I don't think that worked very well.
So you found that's where you ended up.
Yeah.
So if you cut to your initial workouts, you woke up the next morning, you realize I hate myself, I'm a fat.
I did. That was some of my mantras.
And so what was the next? How'd you get what was your first workout?
I went bananas at the gym, and that was just the way that I'm wired. I'm wired like I'm going to go to the gym twice a day. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it with brute force, and the reason that actually worked for me was it just got my mind. It's all about the mind. So the mind was ready to do whatever it took at that point. But before I could even mess with the diet, I did the workouts. And then, the first 6 months maybe I lost 10 pounds. The weight really came off at the end when I started to get into a real strict ketogenic diet.
Is that what it's called, ketogenic?
High fat, moderate protein, and then you do have vegetables, but a very small amount of carbs.
And did you notice that, because sometimes what can happen in meditation, people are a little bit more spacey. Mm-hmm. Did you notice the meat-based diet has helped ground you?
My meditations are at another level.
Yeah.
And I always, I don't mind, but my initial years in meditating was just, it felt like just pure hell. But I felt like that it worked. It did, and it definitely did. When you sit, a big myth about meditation is that you start practicing and it's like you're on this cloud, and it's like rainbows and there's unicorns and it's like, oh, this is so. It's totally not. It's the opposite of all that.
Yeah.
It's incredibly grueling and challenging. I just felt like, because really, I would wake up in the morning and that'd be the first thing I would do, but I was not in a good mood. Mm-hmm. It took me I would have to do this elaborate morning ritual just to be able to function.
What was the ritual?
It would be meditation, it would be working out, it would be writing, journaling, it would be reading high level stuff. I wouldn't turn my phone on for 4 hours.
Phone off for 4 hours. Mm-hmm. That sounds key.
You're up. You got to get up at 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
I guess I love that time, but now I wake up and I'm kind of ready to go. I still have my practice, I still have that discipline, but as soon as I practice, I can start working, I can have a conversation with somebody.
Right.
I literally could not have a good conversation until 4 or 5 hours after I had woken up.
Right.
So I was in my sleep was terrible.
No caffeine?
Yeah, I do matcha green tea.
Oh, matcha green tea.
Not every day, but I do it.
I got you. So
that's actually on a strict carnivore diet. It's just water and meat. That's it. Because
fish.
It's fish too, but it's an elimination diet. So then it's not like you need to do it forever. Then you can start adding stuff in, but you'll be able to tell. Okay, if you do a month very strict, and then you say, okay, maybe I want raspberries. That seems reasonable. So you try that. And what happens with a lot of people is they'll try the raspberry and be like, you know what? I don't feel that good anymore.
Yeah.
And they'll know.
Yep.
Or they'll try and be like, okay, this actually isn't that bad, so I can add this in.
Yeah.
So it's
you taking supplements with that as well?
I take a bit of chlorophyll, but again, the idea is also that a good cut of meat is the most nutritionally dense thing that you can eat, and there's all this,
Is it cooked or is it close to raw?
No, it's cooked.
No sushi?
No rice, but sushi you can have.
Sashimi.
Sashimi, yeah.
Little sashimi. Oysters on a half shell.
That's great. So if the proper animal, he's here, but what would you have to say to people out there that need a jump start?
You got to have a why.
That's not the proper animal. That's not the proper animal.
Where's the
proper animal?
Would just say fucking go, man. Don't be a pussy.
Do it.
Don't be a pussy.
Don't be a pussy.
Which means?
Don't be soft. If you want something and it's going to
get through the difficulty.
Get through.
So let's break this down. This soft thing,
Yeah.
Just in social media alone, people are a little soft. Your hat causes, a 3-state alarm.
Right.
If you could share a little bit how we can toughen up and have conversations.
Well, that's
part of what I love about the feed is that it's in your face.
Yeah.
It's non-apologetic. There's a narcissistic value to the character itself, but the character that you're that you're conveying is non-apologetic and getting results, which is kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I help coach football teams, and it's just a different world right now, and so it's where I guess, you know, I don't have any kids, so it's hard for me to espouse on that because I don't know what it's like, but
Right.
I feel like
Well,
that's
from human to human, you know.
So it's at
Nice.
Proper Animal on
okay.
Instagram.
I think-
you got to go to at Proper Animal on Instagram and
I
get a
think-
sense of what I'm talking
yeah, you
about
gotta
here.
go there. I think that men can be men, and that women will appreciate that.
Yeah.
And men should not be afraid to be more manly or try to explore that part of themselves. Maybe they didn't have anyone to teach them that, but there's plenty of, you know, this is the greatest time ever to be alive because there's information everywhere. So you can follow a guy like David Goggins. You have to follow me. You follow like a real guy like him, and you can kind of learn the way a man is. You can follow
David Goggins, was
Yeah.
that like an Instagram?
He's like a Navy SEAL. Like,
Oh, right.
badass motherfucker. Jocko Willink.
Is that the guy you were jogging
Or
with?
Tom Artavani.
Tom
Because he's
Hardy.
embodies a man.
Yeah, he's a man. He's
Oh,
a man's
I'm a
man.
man,
You
manly
bring the
man.
man.
You are. You're a
bring the
man's
man.
man.
But being the man's man just it's an old idea. Being a man's man is not really needed anymore in the society in terms of what the PC perception of it is.
Well, I
And so
disagree.
there's a lot of males walking around with their heads down,
Yeah.
not really knowing how to fit in. And so your non-apologetic pursuit of your own self-perfection through your enlightenment is inspiring.
It's different.
It's awesome.
It's different. Yeah, there's just such a. I mean, even in the whole yoga, we took that trip, and it was a great trip. We needed it.
Yeah.
Maybe we came from a little bit too masculine on that side, so it was, the whole yoga trip was.
Well, the
beautiful
yoga
for us.
was devised by men and practiced by men for thousands of years before women weren't even allowed to do it. So it was basically a way a man could stay viable and stay healthy, right? Initially, several thousand years ago, 5,000 years ago, when they put the thing together. It's ironic that men devised it and the American women have taken it over and embraced it in such a huge way, which is awesome.
Awesome.
Because they have a sacred place they can go to and meet and greet, and I wish more men would actually find their way into the yoga studio, and actually it's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta.
It's not easy.
Well, it was used for military training too.
Yoga is not
And for
like
sports now, yeah.
like it's not a. I mean, there's all sorts of different types of yogas and different.
Maybe you
arms
guys
to
should
the
start
yoga.
an all men's yoga class.
Well, okay,
I taught
so
yoga for quite a while. I mean, I got it.
I think that there's actually some men that definitely are going to get a lot of value out of yoga, and then there are some men that actually just go lift weights. You know, they should do the stuff that's not necessarily they're drawn to right away.
Yeah.
The stuff that's actually challenging or makes someone comfortable, and go do that.
Yeah, I was
Right.
doing so much yoga with too many women, and I was growing breasts. I was becoming.
You had some
I was
estrogen. Yeah, I
way
know,
too
so-
much. I had to
I
get over
know.
to Gold's Gym and hit the bag and go
You could walk right over there.
right. And I was cycling between those places, going, you know what? I got to get into a boxing gym. I got to
Yes.
get into the gym. I got to sense and feel the grunt and the sweat and watch people working out in a different way. But to bring that meditative repose into a Gold's Gym or into a MMA gym is really the key to the martial art itself. So the irony of that is that the martial arts needs the yoga state of mind in order for it to be a martial art.
That's another great point. Martial arts is a great opportunity for men. It's huge now.
I saw you hitting the
It's-
bag on the proper
I mean,
proper animal hits the bag.
I love hitting the bag, and it's just that there's something very primal about that. It feels like I think men can. If you're hitting a bag, right, or sparring in a contained place is a way to express violence, which we all have in us. And I think that when men don't have the opportunity to do it in a controlled, safe way, like weird stuff starts to happen.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
So, can you share with the
Punch
audience
things.
how to express their masculinity in a joyful way and good outlets for naturally aggressive behavior that exist?
I mean, I just named, like, you hit a bag. You hit a bag for 5 minutes. You're good. You're good for the day. I mean, it's exhausting, and it will get that kind of violence out of you. I have fun. I mean, I'm always having fun. It's always a laugh. Everything I do is truthful, but not serious.
Right.
The proper animal allows me to say things that I really think are true, but I don't. My opinion is, who cares, right? My opinion, your opinion.
Well, we care. It matters right now because
I appreciate that.
because the example that you're setting and having fun with it through the character that you developed in your social media life is inspiring people. So good for you. Got 30 seconds. Anything?
I just said meditate. I would say meditate. That's the first domino. Anything you want to do in your life, just meditate. A minute of the day, we did it. That's the first domino. If you do that for 1 week,
And have a sense of humor.
But don't take it too seriously either. Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, you can just even say fuck it and then take 10 breaths and then be like, fucking A. And then
That's a good guttural sound.
You were inspiring to watch. I watched the weight fall off of you. I was like, you got to the point where you were ripped and proud of yourself and going places. And I think, just health in general can do that for people. And you seem to have found your way. And it's great that you're sharing it. Do you have any last questions for the proper
Can you give everyone
animal?
the shock factor that might be watching this man half naked on a chair with a Magda hat on? That what you do for your day job?
Oh, I boring stuff. Do finance. I have an investment fund.
Well, that's how we were talking. We were talking gold, almost. Remember we were talking gold investment?
Yeah.
This man invests gold. He takes care of your money. Crazy.
So if you can share with listeners where they can find you.
Proper Animal.
Proper Animal everywhere. At Twitter, at
Twitter,
Facebook,
Instagram.
Cue up that piece of music in there, Juan.
It's really Instagram.
Instagram.
That's
Yeah,
the
10
great
seconds,
videos.
Juan. 10 seconds, Juan.
10,
9. Proper
8,
Animal to the
7.
camera. Right here, baby. Proper Animal.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's awesome.
You're awesome.
Is that piece of music? Come here, Proper Animal. There you go. Proper Animal. Woohoo! There he is. There he is. Proper Animal.
The
Dang.
Hulk Hogan soundtrack would be good.
That's right. Hulk
All
Hogan.
American.
Get out of here, man. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get out of here.
Thank you.
That was a Proper Animal, people. How about that guy? How about Brian L. Gallo? You can find him on Instagram under the Proper Animal. Really awesome for him to take the risks that he's taken, even wearing that darn hat and taking that risk is a huge. He's not big enough to wear that hat. I wouldn't wear that hat. So how do you feel about this? Well, you done? We're live,
We're
right?
still live.
Oh, hey, what's up?
That's okay, Bobby. We love you. Come on
Hey,
in.
that's Bobby.
So-
We're not live.
We're not.
Go.
Yeah, we're not live.
Why not?
Are we recording? No.
Yeah, we're recording.
Okay, we're recording. So keep talking. Let's close it out.
Oh, we are recording.
Yeah, we're just not
well,
live.
listen. I mean, that was two great guests. I mean, really interesting.
Absolutely.
You had Justin and Brian in here talking about the great things that they're contributing to their society in very different ways. Clearly, Justin and the Proper Animal sit on different sides of the spectrum, but nevertheless making a contribution and making the world a better place and sharing their gifts. Yeah?
Absolutely. No, it's very inspiring. Makes me want to get out there and do something good for others.
Like,
and
what do you want to do good for others? You're doing tons of stuff good for others.
I don't know. I can always do more, though. I miss being in service. I think I'll go to the beach cleanup. That's the easy first step.
Beach cleanup, yeah. Go to the beach
And I
cleanup.
like to take the monks' food, so I think I'll cook some food and bring it down to the monks down the street. So those are quick steps for me. And then get
Absolutely.
in the gym. I'm really inspired by both of them to get in the gym a little bit more.
I love developing the artists. I mean, I'm a world-class acting teacher. That's what I do for my day job. But it's fun developing talent and watching that talent go out there and change the world, make it a better place. You guys, once you wake up in your craft, you become powerful communicators. And if you can get out there and communicate to people in a way that lifts them up. And it seems like, oddly enough, we're like the greatest nation in the world, but we're not necessarily the happiest nation. We don't have that gross national happiness going on. And I think that's the next goal that we need to, once we get all the pieces in place and
once we have JoyScore for you guys to connect with on a daily basis, a weekly basis.
And go to that joyscore.co site and put your email, because that's the only active part of that website right now is your email. You get on that email and you'll be the first to know about this app and more shows every Wednesday. This show is every Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. Fresh guests, new surprises, and soon enough you'll be able to call in and talk to us, ask us questions, ask the guest questions. You'll be able to even text and get in touch with us that way, because Bobby's working on that. He's got that next plan laid out for this place, so we'll have that for you as well. You'll be able to call in and ask questions. Anything else you'd like to add, Suzanne?
Just thanks for listening. Thanks, Thomas, for being here and spreading the joy.
Hey, it was a lot of fun. It was nice having you guys. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bobs, for putting this on. Thank you, Juan, back there in the
thank you guys.
In the room. Really appreciate it. And this is Thomas Ardavani and Suzanne Torra, and we're signing off. And you guys have an awesome rest of the week, and have a great evening.